Now I'm going to demonstrate date functions in SQL, for which I'm going to make use of a table user logins, and in the user logins I insert see, I have 3 columns in the user login table, which is the user ID, the username, and the login time. User ID is an integer, username is a varchar of 100, login date is date time, and the default is the current timestamp. So the default value is going to be current timestamp if nothing is passed. I'm inserting various user IDs and username. So here Alice, Bob, Charlie. So here what we'll get, so when I try to view these records, it shows me 30th of March, 7 o'clock in the morning, 4 minutes, 6 seconds, 0.073 milliseconds. Okay, now here I want to check in who have logged in today. So first of all, I cast the date as, I cast the login time, this particular field. So I want to check who have logged in today. Now this is a date time field. I want to extract only the date from this. So here I specify that change this to a date, and also the current timestamp. Get me the current timestamp also in the form of a date. So I say, so usually how will I pass in this query, where login time equal to current timestamp. But I'm not looking at the timestamp alone. I'm not looking at that particular second alone. I'm looking at the date. So here I say cast login time as date equal to cast of current timestamp as date. So now from the current timestamp also it will get the date. From here also it will get the date. And so it shows me all the 3 names here. Okay. The next is, I want to check logins in the last 7 days. So here I call the DATEADD function. The interval that I am specifying is -7 day. That means I am looking for a date which is 7 days prior to today's date. Here I have passed today's date. So I'm looking for 7 days prior. -7 means 7 days prior, not after that. So 7 days prior to today's date. Okay, and here I specify, that is I'm looking for the login time which is more than this. So let's say if this will give me 23. So I'm looking for all the dates which are more than 23 or more than 23. So this is how this will help me to fetch anything which is after 23. Let me also create another table to show you in detail. So here there is activity ID, some username, activity, and the activity date. See here, now activity ID indicates, and here in the activity ID is the primary key. I specify identity of 1,1. Now what does this identity of 1,1 means? Identity of 1,1 means start from 1 and with an increment of 1 include 1, 2, 3. So by default that has to be included in the data. So here I have these records. Where this activity ID will automatically get added. Then there is username and what activity have they done, and what is the date when they have done it. So here earlier I showed only with current timestamp. Now taking this forward, I am feeding in here some custom dates. Okay, so here I feed in this particular data. and 10 rows are added here. And these are all the username, activity and the activity date. Now what can be the various activity that we see here: logged in, uploaded a file, logged out, and so on. So these are the various activities that are there. Now let's say if I want to look for an activity which happened today. Okay, so there is nothing that has happened today because maybe I have not fed anything like that. Let's see for the activities that happened in the last 5 days. So activity date more than equal to getting the last 5 days details. Let me insert a record with today's timestamp, and so it will start to show. So now if I look for last 5 days, it will show me today's details. Similarly here also, if I'm looking for anything that happened today, it shows me today's details, the record that I just added. Let's say if I'm looking for a reminder date. Okay, I just want to calculate the reminder date. So I can just print the reminder date, that is reminder date is the column here. So here I have a label which is the reminder date and the date that I want. So this is the reminder date, 6th April, which is 7 days from today. That is what I have asked for. So as when I say here reminder date as label, so label, in the label reminder date goes in, and then date add of day comma 7 get date. From today's date 7 days are added. I can also enhance this. Wait 1 second. I can take this one step forward by so instead of get date, I will pass here activity date, and here I will say from the table name, which is user activities. So let us see what happens here. So now for all the activity dates that are there, it is showing me the reminder date as this. So or if I want, I can even eliminate this column and I can just include activity date here, and I will get 7 days. What will be the date after 7 days of when they have logged in? Activity date, reminder date, and this. So now I can also extract how many days have passed since each activity. That is, I want to calculate, when I say days that have passed, I'm basically calculating the difference between the date, and the difference between the dates here is, one is the activity date and today's date. I want to find out number of days that have passed. So DATEDIFF is the function that will help me to do that. I am looking for the difference in day, activity date and the get date. Okay. So Alice logged in 29 days back, Bob uploaded a file 28 days back, and so on. And this is the last record that I just added. Alice logged in 0 days back. Let's say what happens if I pass month here. Okay. So because I have added data for March, it shows 0 for all. Then there is, instead of get date, I can pass any other date also. So I can pass any other date, parse it as a date, and then that can also be done. Now let us apply one more question here. Let's see the user who has been inactive for more than 15 days. So here for the username, I am first of all calculating the max activity date. Let me show you this query. So here for each and every user, Alice 30th was the last activity, Bob 24th of March, Charlie, and so on. Okay, David, this, Eve, this one. Yeah, there are 5 users. So now let me see the users who have been inactive for 10 days. Now on this date that I get, I have got the last activity date, whether they uploaded a file, logged in, logged out, whatever the case may be. Now here I am looking for the case where they have not done anything for the past 10 days. Now see, this can be a very good application function for, let's say, a shopping website where I get to know who are my dormant users, like they have been inactive for a long period of time. So to them I can send some notification, or maybe make them calls and inform them about some kind of discount or anything. So here I am calculating the difference between now this is their last activity date. I am looking if they have been inactive for the past 10 days. So here I check the difference between that max activity date and today's date, and I calculate the difference in days. If that difference is more than 10, I would want to see the details. So here I think only Eve will qualify to the list, that is, has been inactive for more than 10 days. I can also get activities on a particular date. So here I specify the date from paths. I am looking for anything that happened on 10th of March. So I specify where activity date is equal to, I construct the date from paths, and that is 2025 as the year, 3 as month, 10th as the date. Now another thing that can be done here is I can also get to know what is the weekday name. Like let us see when did a particular person do that particular activity. So here I say username, what is the activity, and the date name. I'm looking for the date name. Now when I look for the date name, here I am looking for the name. Okay, date name, that is, I'm looking for what weekday is it in the activity date, and I just name that column as weekday here. So here I get to know that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, there are certain days that people have logged in. Again, this can be helpful to know if I have more users on a weekday or a weekend. Okay, here I can see this is the date name function. Then we also have the date part function. Date part function will give me integer values. So here I can get to know the week number here. So let's say here in date part, if I specify weekday, it is showing me the number as in, see here I think Sunday is indicating Saturday is put as number 7, so I think Sunday will mean number 1. So here I have a Sunday, so it should be 7 1 2 1 2. So this 7 1 2 7 1 2. Sorry, 7 1 2 1 2. So this is basically the week number, where 1 is Sunday, 2 is Monday, 3 is Tuesday, and so on. So date part passing the same argument as you can see here. Here date part is giving me the integer value and date name is giving me the name. Okay, so here let's say if I pass month, and here also if I pass month. Okay, let us see the result for date name. Date name will give me March, whereas date part will give me 3. So I hope the difference between date name and date part is clear. I can also extract the week number that I showed here. Then I can also extract details for a particular month. Like for example, if I say date part month comma activity date equal to 3. So I'm looking for all the activities that happened in the month of March. Similarly, here I can specify day equal to 30. So it will show me today's Alice record. So like this we can work with the date part for where conditions also. Here again, see, if I specify that I'm looking for everything in the current month, then here I give that is date part month comma activity date, and here I will specify date part month comma get date. So from in today's month, that is in current month, what are the activities that are happening. So instead of passing a static value like 3, I can make it dynamic, like passing in get date. That is, it will always evaluate today's dates month. So let's see activities like persons who have logged in on a weekend. So here I specify week date name, and here I am looking only for the values Saturday and Sunday. So here we already saw how we get the date using date name. How do I get the days of the week, and depending on here I can specify that I'm looking for Saturday or Sunday. We also saw about this reminder date. Let's say for the maximum activity date, after that I'm looking for the reminder date. So for all 5 people, this is the last activity date, and then on that I can compute the reminder date. I can combine various conditions also. So let's say if I want to check who have logged in on weekends in this month. So here I am looking for logged in activity this month. So I am looking for activity date, and here I am looking only for the month. Okay, then after that, here in the in this month, and then here date name weekday comma activity date in Saturday Sunday. So here I am combining 3 whatever we have earlier learned, but 3 different kinds of queries. So these are the people who have logged in on Saturday or Sunday in this current month. So 3 conditions are getting specified here. I can also check for the valid date or not using isDate. So here isDate. So here 30th 3, if I say, it will return 1, indicating that it is a valid date. But if I pass a string, then it will show not a valid date. Let's say instead of 30, if I pass 32, then it will indicate that it is not a valid date. 32 is not possible in the day number. If I pass 31 April also, it will not work. Okay. Another one last thing is getDate and getDate and SYSDATETIME function. So here you can see that here this is giving me only till the millisecond, but this is giving me a lot of precision here, which is 7 hours 22 minutes 48 seconds. Within that, it's 911535, but this is 910. So this gives me a lot higher precision when compared to this. That is the difference between getDate and system date time. So these were the various date functions that were there.